Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. On January 7th, Earnell Lucas was sworn in as the 65th Sheriff of Milwaukee County. He served 25 years in Milwaukee's police department and retired as a captain and district commander. He has also served as head of security and investigation for Major League Baseball. It's a pleasure to welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee County Sheriff Earnell Lucas. How are you?
I'm doing very well, and thank you for having me here.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you back. The last time you were here, you were campaigning, and so it is safe to say that you are the new sheriff in town. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And if you would, first and foremost, talk about your main goals now that you are officially on the job.
Some of the things that I talked about during the course of the campaign is that we've got to restore the honor and trust back to this profession. I'm one who have now served 25 years, as you indicated, in the police department, and 16 years in a professional sports in the security and investigations area. Know that this is a very noble profession, and I'm so proud now to be the sheriff of Milwaukee County and work with such fine, dedicated men and women, both in our sworn deputies as well as our correctional officers as well. Also, we have to find a way to deliver a higher level of service to the people of Milwaukee County. This first month has been quite an interesting month, challenging month for me. And we are doing everything we humanly possibly can. But I'm very mindful of the fact that our people are just like fine instruments. And if you pull a violin string too tight, it eventually is going to snap. So I've got to be mindful as the leader of this organization that our people are not being pushed and pulled in so many different directions, that they are able to get family time, get some rest and relaxation and other things of that nature. And then finally, we've got to certainly treat people with dignity and respect. Somewhere along the way, we lost our way in the previous in past years in the organization. And we not only got to treat the public that we serve better, but we've got to treat one another better. And so those are the things that I'm committed to from the outset. And I'd say in the first month, which concludes today, that we're on the path to restoring the honor, integrity, and trust, and doing those things that I just mentioned.
Yeah, so when you mentioned that, you know, the first month has been challenging, I think whenever anyone takes on a new role that you got to kind of get acclimated. And then also you came into a position where, you know, you had a leader who was once in that position who was all about grabbing national headlines, and things had gotten a little off course. So how, in fact, have you been able to really kind of put the morale back into the department and kind of say to everyone that, you know what, it's not about me, it's about us? How have you been able to do that?
Well, certainly anyone that knows, I didn't come to this position because of any personal pursuits or gains, because I left a wonderful opportunity for the past 16 years serving Major League Baseball, working with young men from all across the country and all across the world who were earning a living in a great game like baseball. First, everyone knows that this is somebody that actually cares about this profession. And so the second thing was to get everybody to understand that we have an honor and an oath that we take to serve the public and uphold the public trust. And getting members to really understand that goal and responsibility was one of the other things that I did. And then finally, I saw that the organization had been, as you said, led for many years by an individual who was more self-absorbed. And I told everybody, listen, if we loosen our collars, let our hair down, understand that we have a very awesome authority and responsibility to still serve this community, but we don't have to walk around on eggshells at all times. And I think people are already adapting to the new environment and are starting to show again, some productivity and the morale increase.
I love that. So we've all heard that saying, behind every great man is a great woman. And in your case, you've got a team of great women behind you. Talk about your administrative team.
Well, I'm certainly humbled by the fact that three outstanding women stepped forward to come to the organization with me. Dr. Danita Ball, who was a 25-year member of the Milwaukee Police Department as well, came on as the Chief Deputy in the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office, highest ranking female ever in the history of the organization. She's going to do an outstanding job being the day-to-day commander of the organization. And then Molly Zillick, who is a former corporate counsel here in Milwaukee County, but is someone that I brought in to do two things. One, I saw that we had a need to do, first, we had to do the right things, that the department had lost its way and was not doing the proper things. And then the second thing was to ensure that we're doing them right. So I brought her in as the Chief Legal and Compliance Officer to do, again, just as I indicated. And then someone that this community I know is very familiar with, Faith Colas, who has worked in many capacities here in Milwaukee, stepped up to be the Chief or Director of Public Affairs and Community Engagement. And her goal is to again, get us reconnected with the community that we serve. And again, I already see that we're on a good path.
Yeah, watching your transition, I couldn't help but notice that you have a willingness to connect and to partner. So you've been seen really trying to make that connection with Milwaukee's Police Chief Alfonso Morales, and then also you've attended the press club and tried to make that connection with the media as well. How important are partnerships and collaborations to you?
Well, they're vital. You know, the police are the community and the community are the police, so we all got to work together in this thing called keeping our community safe. And certainly, you know, having partners like the Milwaukee Police Department and Chief Al Morales, and certainly our federal partners, FBI, DEA, and other agencies, as well as other agencies here in Milwaukee County, the 18 municipalities here in Milwaukee County. That's vital to us restoring the order back here in Milwaukee County. But then you also have to have those partnerships out in the community. I've said to the press that the press plays a role in this thing called keeping our community safe. While they have an obligation and a duty to report on those things that law enforcement is doing, there's also human aspects to who we are and what we are about. And I want those stories told as well. And then the business community, all of us play an important role to make Milwaukee County strong and make Milwaukee County safe. So again, I'm very confident that we're on the right path.
And so with your position, we were talking off camera, you feel it's important to educate people in different ways, not just your department, but everyday people who you come in contact with, educate them on violence and de-escalation and resolving conflict. If you would, kind of talk more about that.
Well, again, you know, I come from an era where we encountered violence, or particularly a call involving a gun, maybe one a week. Or maybe two at best, and that'd be a report of a robbery or somebody fainted or threatened use of a weapon. But now officers are faced with every other call that they respond to on a daily basis involves some type of threat, use of a weapon, and any other intended violence that goes along with that. We've got a duty here in this community to educate people of every age, not just young people, that there have to be more better solutions to conflict than resorting to the use of a firearm. And so, again, that's one aspect of what we have as a challenge in front of us, and working with partners like the health department, like some of the community-based organizations here in Milwaukee County, the Office of Violence Prevention and others. We can do a lot of things here in Milwaukee County to, again, educate the public as to what is the right course in terms of resolving conflict.
And when you were campaigning to be elected as the Milwaukee County Sheriff, I would see you everywhere talking to people from all walks of life and different backgrounds. In talking to those individuals and then being elected, what have you taken from those conversations and different scenarios that you'd like to implement, just from getting a feel from people in general? Well,
one of the things I've learned over the course of an 18-month campaign is that yes, you have to inform the people of who you are and what you stand for. But most importantly, I found it even more beneficial for me to listen to the community. What is it that they were looking for in a sheriff? What is it that law enforcement is not doing that we need to do, or what are we doing that we need to do better? And so from that, again, engaging the community in the process. I think, that was not the case for a number of years preceding me coming into office. Being willing to admit when we're wrong. There's opportunities when things happen and go wrong in law enforcement. We've got to step up in those instances and say we didn't get this one right and we aim to do better. And then overall, just go out and every day commit to delivering a high level of service to the people that we serve. And if we can do those things, I think, again, we can really, that partnership, marry that partnership with the community that we serve, with the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office in a way that it never has been before.
So very important. We've got just about a minute. And if you would, just give us your final thoughts on your number one priority with this particular position. It may not happen in a month or 6 months. It may happen, in your final year in office. But what would you ultimately like to see happen?
Overall, again, my goal was to change the course of this organization back to the once proud standing that it had in our community. And at the end of the day, for me personally and for the organization, if I can walk out the door, hang my coat up, and say that while we didn't agree on everything and while we didn't always get it right, but still I'm a sheriff that this community can be proud of, works for me. I'll be pretty happy.
Then mission accomplished,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Well, thank you. I know you're extremely busy, so I appreciate you coming by and talking with us today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. Earnell Lucas is the 65th Sheriff of Milwaukee County, and you can keep up with the department by visiting their website at county.milwaukee.gov. That is going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, I thank you for watching, and I do hope you join us again next week as we take another look at our issues Milwaukee. Have a great day.